Iran has warned that it will begin enriching uranium beyond the limit set by its unraveling 2015 nuclear deal with world powers. At a press conference, Iran also said that in 60 days it would reduce its commitments further, without elaborating unless the pact signatories move to protect it from U.S. sanctions. Tehran's decision comes a year after President Donald Trump unilaterally withdrew the U.S. from the deal aimed at curbing Iran's nuclear program. That move has led to heightened tensions in the Middle East, raising fears of a wider conflict that could engulf a region that's also vital to global energy supplies. I'm joined now by Markus Keim from the German Institute for International and Security Affairs. Let's talk about the technical aspects, Markus, right away. What does breaching the limits of uranium enrichment actually mean?
I mean, enrichment, it's at the core of the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Iran is allowed to enrich uranium until 3.67%, and now has announced to enrich up to 5%, 5% to 20%, which is far away from a nuclear bomb, but up to from 20% onwards, uranium might be used for a nuclear bomb. Therefore, we're far away from any critical capability. However, I think it's a dangerous path here.
What's Iran up to here? What are they trying to achieve?
I mean, we have to keep in mind they are not formally withdrawing from the agreement. It's not a legally cancellation of the agreement like the Trump administration has done 1 year ago. It's, how to put it, playing around with the violations or with the regulations of the agreement, and has announced that they will further violate another agreement in 60 days from now. So far, I would say it's more a political signal to put pressure on the Europeans, on the Chinese and on the Russians to facilitate oil trade so that Iran can profit from the economic advantages which are part of the JCPOA.
One of the first nations to respond is Israel. Let's listen to what the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had to say.
Iran has violated its solemn promise under the UN Security Council not to enrich uranium beyond a certain level. The enrichment of uranium is made for one reason and one reason only. It's for the creation of atomic bombs. The leaders of the P5+1 promised and committed themselves to snap back sanctions the minute Iran did that. It just did. Where are you?
A challenge from the Israeli Prime Minister. What could be done to save the deal?
I hate to say it, but I'm afraid it's dead. I think there's no way to save the deal. There are desperate efforts, particularly from the European side, the German government, the British government, the French government, to facilitate trade and oil exchange with the Iranian side, but without major success so far. Therefore, I think the Europeans simply have not the capability to save the deal, and I'm afraid in the foreseeable future, let's say in 1 or 2 months, it will be formally dead.
And what does this all mean for the conflict with the United States?
I think if Iran is formally violating or even withdrawing from the agreement, the sanctions, which are only suspended, the international sanctions by the United Nations, will snap back. Therefore, we'll see another round of sanctions by the Europeans, by the Chinese, by the Russians, which actually hate to implement sanctions here. But therefore, we'll be back in a situation before 2015 with a major confrontation between the international community and Iran probably pursuing the nuclear path.
Markus Keim from the German Institute for International and Security Affairs. Thank you so much.
Thank you.